What's up, everyone? You're tuned in to the channel Eps. I'm your host, EEPMON, episode 79. And before I begin, I want to give a shout out to my friend Gunsu, who just came back from Turkey, her home country, and she got me this awesome gift. Just like a Turkish coffee plate cup combo. I have a set, so I have another. It's a pair. It comes in a pair. But look at the intricate detail. I just absolutely love this gold and this blue. It's not indigo. It's kind of indigo and a bit of a hint of royal blue. Like, it's beautiful, isn't it? Look at this. It's called Jumbo. Apparently, Jumbo is a very established OG coffee wares brand over in Turkey. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm having my coffee. Right, late night coffee. Well, not late night, but I love this portion because it just means I have more, more pouring involved. But that means I have more, just little hits of coffee here and there. It's great. I love it. Anyway, thank you, Gunsu. So today I like to follow up on, my trajectory of becoming a digital artist, a creative entrepreneur, because I think it's such a mystery, and to a lot of people, and myself included, when I was starting out, like, what's the trick? What's the magic? How do you crack the code? Is there a secret to this? And for the longest time, I always felt that there's got to be something to this. Like, what is it? And what I come to realize is that, look, folks, at the end of the day, we are all born in different situations, scenarios, and whatnot, right? Like, maybe there are those who were born under the art establishment. So perhaps they've already have a bit of a way in through, let's face it, folks, networking and relationships come a long way, okay? Like, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how not talented you are. If you have connections, that's like 80% of the battle. I would dare say that. Okay, maybe 75%. I don't know. So for me, look, I born and raised here in Ottawa, and I'm just going to give you some context, okay, from my point of view, my honest point of view, okay. Though we do have, art school, Canterbury, and all that, the thing is that at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't matter where you live, but reality hits you and go, look, am I going to continue in my creative endeavor? Because it's a lot of pressure, right? Like I said, like, we artists have the hardest gigs in the game, and it takes a lot of courage. So I applaud my fellow creators in art and upcoming artists and aspiring artists who are really doing what they can to really push their craft forward, whatever that may be, okay? So that's amazing. First of all, I want to say that. And I would hope that more creators can encourage and empower each other. In my, it's really interesting is that, hold on, let me some Gunsu's like Turkish coffee cup. Oh, I love it. It's a great size. And the thing is, what I've also noticed is that despite the fact that we have it pretty hard as creators to get out in there in the game, at the same time, I do not see enough encouragement from my peers. Like, I know many creators, a lot of creators I know, but I support. Like, I'm, if I see I have friends who are really talented illustrators, okay, who've done crazy projects with Tiffany, Mercedes-Benz, like all these big brand projects, right? I'll be honest, I'm not gonna be jealous. Why should I be jealous? Why be like, oh, I wish I could do that? No, I'm like, good for her. Like I totally applaud her because I know how much work she has to put in behind the scenes, even if I don't know who she was, okay, or who she is. Like I know it's not that simple to secure an opportunity like this, okay? Because let's think about it. You can again I said you can be very talented, you can be uber talented, okay? And you may even have the connections and whatnot. I'm not saying that she had connections or anything, but like, you know, the trajectory of getting to that point took a lot of sacrifice, okay? And even if you were to secure an opportunity, there's so many inner workings to actually get the green light. Like, I'm sure, with even if, well, let's not talk about my friend, but look, my example for me personally, an opportunity comes to my door, or I get an opportunity, and then my agent, or have some agencies. They're not like full-time agencies, but they're like people who would want agents that would headhunt me and go, hey, we have this project, can't promise anything, okay, but we're thinking about this type of timeline. I think you're a great fit. Let's see what happens. That's all I know. As far as I can understand, is that they probably may have 5 or 6 other artists on the queue saying the same thing. It's not my lane, but that could be the case. Okay, because they also need to have a contingency plan that if I wasn't able to fulfill my obligations, or maybe the client changed their mind in the direction of the theme, then they'll be in big doo doo, right? Because they don't have a backup plan to pivot. So there's a lot of inner workings that go behind the scenes, and they would say something, but be mindful. That's something I learned over time. That I have to be emotionally, balanced, kind of stoic in a way that, hey, this is great. I'm happy that they reached out to me. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does happen, fantastic. But I'm equally content that the fact that, hey, at least I had an opportunity, or have been approached to do something. Okay, so again, I'm digressing a bit, but like it just goes to think, like my friends who are doing these projects, I'm not going to be jealous. No way. I'm happy for them. I'm empowering them. Like, good for you. Good for effing you, because I know it's really tough. I wish more artists are like that. Our world, like we should be encouraging each other instead of like kind of like snickering around and oh no, what blah, 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 blah. There's that, man. There's haters in our world, man. It's crazy. Like, come on, let's empower each other. Let's support each other. So yeah, where was I? Oh yeah. So I remember where I left off. So the thing is that, so for me, um, the fact that I was in the city Ottawa, the creative industry here, let's face it, in comparison to Tokyo, comparison to New York, comparison to Toronto, like there's a reason why that a lot of the ad agencies or the creative industries and Montreal, they're more abundant over there. Where a lot of my peers, they moved over there, they've traveled there to do stuff over there, but I stayed put. That being said, I knew that in order for me to grow as a creator, as an artist, I had to force myself to get out there in the world, because I knew that the art, I mean, again, it depends on what your goals are. Like what do you want? Like, it's like you don't have to go worldwide grand. You don't have to go all the way out there. Maybe if you find success within your own local community, which is completely valid and completely fine. In my case, I was thinking, well, how amazing it is if I can create things for the world to see. And I always wanted to travel to New York, travel to other parts around the world, in Shanghai or Tokyo, Hong Kong. Well, clearly because I'm Asian, so like I have my relatives are in Hong Kong, right? So like there's always that connection with me with Far East Asia, and to have my art as my vehicle to reconnect, that world, that side of the world, is even more meaningful and profound for me. Simply because it's my passion plus my passion and my heritage. So so I had to go out there, and I realized early on is like I had to build my relationships. I had to network. I have to, I would have to do some cold calling, right? And a cold call, not literally cold calling, but like, um, I remember I would go to magazine stores and like look at the emails of all the publishers of these design magazines, and I would write a list, and I would actually like email them directly. Hey, my name is Eric Chan, aka EEPMON. Here's some of my work. What do you think? Like I would really do that. Uh, Very proactive in reaching out to people I don't know, in hopes that something could happen. Of course, conferences do help. Going to conferences to attend, to see who's speaking, understand, hold, navigate the industry, the who's who or the agencies of the world, understand the whole logistics of these things. But also another thing that I did often too to grow my reach is competition. I get it. Like not everyone wants to compete, and no, not everyone's like, hey, look at me, I'm number one. But competition, don't like for me. I'm not there to compete against other people. That was never my point. My purpose of competition is just another vehicle to get noticed. Okay, even if you don't win, the jurors who are assessing the artwork will see it. Okay, and you never know. Like winning is not the ultimate goal. It's again, you never know there's a infinite amount of scenarios that will play out when you get your work out there. Okay, perhaps one scenario is like a juror looked at one of your pieces. You may not win, but that he or she will remember. I really liked EEPMON's work, honestly, and maybe I will personally reach out to him and see if they like to do an editorial cover or something, right? Like these are the side. Don't like you might have like the competition could be the goal. It could not be could be the the end game of what it is, but it's really about everything around the competition that is probably equally, if not more important. In fact, there is the book that I'm reading right now, right? This is the book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. There's a chapter that talks about lightning. Let me look it up. One second. All right, here we are. The chapter is called Surrounding the Lightning Bolt. And this is so true, okay? An explosion of information arrives in inspired moments. How can we avoid becoming fixated on these bolts of lightning? Some artists live as storm chasers, awaiting spontaneous strikes, longing for the thrill. Okay? So the lightning bolt is like that thing. I want that thing. I want to win. I want to get this opportunity, right? Now, the follow-up, it says a more constructive strategy is to focus less on the lightning bolts and more on the spaces surrounding it. The space before, because lightning does not strike unless the right preconditions are met, and the space after, because the electricity dissipates if you do not capture it and use it. When we are struck by an epiphany, our experience of what's possible has been expanded. In that instant, we are broken open. We've entered a new reality. So, as I mentioned, the serendipity of the outcomes, that you may have that competition in mind, but you don't know. And most of the time, the opportunities are actually the things that you don't know, like the surrounding of the event. Now, I'm just giving a competition as an example, but for me, again, another example of the analogy of the lightning bolt. I go to Japan. I go to Japan every year, once every year. Now I'm going like twice or sometimes 3 times a year. But I always go to Japan, whether or not I want. Well, I mean, for course, for to see what kind of opportunities are there for me. I remember I went there in 2009. I went there and I did a couple of exhibitions there, right? Some of them are really massive exhibitions. Design Festa. I don't know in Japan. I don't know if they still have. I don't know if they still do it, but there was something called Design Festa, and then it happens every year at Tokyo Big Site. I think it's been a while. It could be Design Festa. Anyway, you have it's basically you got it's a pay. You got to pay your booth. You have to have a booth, but you basically exhibiting your works, and that's one way of doing it. You pay your way through, and face it, folks. I mean, look, sure. The ultimate goal is, one of the ultimate goals is getting approached and they invite you to do something, but when you're starting out, don't think and it's very naive to think that, oh well, I'm so good, so I will be approached one day. No, you should be proactive, get your work out there, and if you have to pay to set up a booth, then do it. Because like I said, the lightning bolt, you go there, you set something, you go to Japan. I went to Japan, set up a booth. Okay, I did a little exhibition at another cafe called Cafe Pause in Ikebukuro, like many years ago. I don't know if it's still there anymore. But okay, I did these shows, right? I planned it out. I did my EEPMON marketing 101, saying that EEPMON is going to Japan, make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. I'm going to Japan. I'm excited about it, and the world needs to know. And then I went there, and I had a great exhibition at Design Festa. Met some great people, exchanged cards, met the creative industries in Japan. Okay, now whether or not that followed up to actually any concrete opportunities during my time there is one thing, but most importantly is that first step of persevering and proactively engaging, and that's how you grow your network, your opportunities, okay? Then I had an exhibition at Cafe Pause I told you about, and I did an exhibition there. I printed my artwork, took it on board to fly over to Japan, had to show there. And then the person at the time who managed the Cafe Pause said, hey, look, I also manage this event called Pechugucha in Tokyo, in Roppongi Hills. I think your work is great. Would you be interested in doing a talk? I said, of course, I would love to do it. So I had no idea what Pechugucha was. It's basically, it started in Tokyo, and you basically have 20 slides and 1 minute each, and you basically talk about what you do. So I had 20 minutes, and Pechugucha means like chit chat, really quick, bam, bam, bam. And I did that. Now, and from there, I met so many people in the I would say the who's who of the industry. I met some individuals who worked at Dentsu Japan, which is Dentsu is one of the biggest design agencies in the world. I met one individual who worked at Hugo Boss. It's back in the day, right? I met people who did magazine publications, newspaper, like freaking the Shimbun, like the Nippon, like I said, the Japanese like newspaper article people, newspaper, video games, they're there. Like there's like the clique, and he saw what I did, and then I followed up. Now, that being said, you may do it. Again, you make your connections, you do it, you get your business cards, exchange your cards, but it's up to you to do your due diligence to follow up with them. Follow each and every one of them. Okay. And you have to make it a cadence. I had to follow with them. I try to follow them like, email once a month, maybe twice a month, and see who responds. And then, if they respond back, then you kindly, continue the conversation. Okay. I think this day and age, like the way of building relationships is probably, I don't know, like it's just like how else would you do it? That's how I did it. Like you have to go there and you got to follow up. Don't think it's a one-time thing and you think things are going to happen. No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen the first time. It doesn't happen the second time. It doesn't even happen the 10th time that opportunities will present themselves. That's why it's so hard, folks. That's why we have the hardest gigs in the game. You got to be a little crazy to do what we do. Okay? And yeah, I think I am borderline crazy. I don't know. But it's not that we're crazy. It's that we are passionate and we love and believe in what we do. And we are stubbornly focused and disciplined in our craft. And we live and we breathe our world. And it's not because we have to do it, because we want to do it. I like I said, I am willing to lose everything so as long as I can continue to do what I love to do. Because at the end of the day, we only have one life and we're only here in existence for a short amount of time. So if we are living and breathing, and statistically saying that for us existing here and now is infinitely impossible. Okay, I don't want to get too digressed into whole like life and philosophy, but if you have this ability and you're really passionate about it, just go for it, because there's nothing to lose, right? So, we live and breathe it. We do it. And for me, I enjoy. I go out there. And guess what? I'm going again. I'm going back again in October. And now, folks, I'll tell you, it never ends. This life we lead as creators, as creative entrepreneurs, it never ends. When do I settle? When are you settling down? I will never settle. No effing way. I love this. This is great. No, I'm not gonna settle. Hell no. Like I said, I'm a volatile man and living in a volatile world. It's such a great fit. It's such a great synergy. For those who think that they want to live a stable and stagnant life, you're setting yourself for big trouble, I think. That's just me. Because my friends, nothing ever lasts forever, okay? Things will change. And if you're not prepared for these change, then it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And you will need to figure out how to pivot. And it's tough, right? So, as a creative entrepreneur in the way I am right now, I'm always on. There's half of me is always sort of like at the edge of the cliff. I'm ready to pivot all the time, ready to go, ready to hone in into the cues and the nuances of opportunities. I'm like, I'm always hungry. I'm not hungry. Sometimes I'm hungry, but I'm hungry for like just looking at what's happening, what's the next thing, what's the next move. What do I need to get? What do I strategize to get into that area? Remember the lightning boat analogy. There's the lightning boat, but now I'm thinking around it. And then I'm also thinking what's around that. Like, that's the play. That's why this book is amazing, folks. This freaking book is amazing. This, like, a lot of my my career as a creator in my life, I completely align with what Rick Rubin speaks of, like this guy. It's crazy. But yeah, it's a I get it, not everyone can do it. But if you are committed to follow the path of which you want to lead for your own self, I applaud you and all the power to you. So anyway, on that note, I'd like to sign off. This is the Channel Eps episode 79. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon. Have a great morning wherever you are. And please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or response or feedback, let me know down below in the comments. All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.